Hello, welcome to today's webinar, Analytics to Insight, Leveraging Business Intelligence to Achieve EHS Success. My name is Bob Kimball. I'm the Director of Product Marketing here at Dakota. I've been with Dakota for nearly 11 years now, and I've worked hand in hand with our product strategy team to better understand the challenges of EHS professionals. Over the years, we've been focused on the development of Dakota Insights, our new business intelligence platform. It was designed in coordination with our clients to help them get more value out of their data. So I'm going to share some of the learnings from that journey. I'm joined today by Julie Pecoraro. Julie is a compliance services leader with Dakota, where for over the past 6 years, she's helped clients implement Dakota solutions, specifically focused on the areas of compliance planning with a specialty in air permitting and other environmental requirements. Julie has a master's degree in environmental science from the University of Washington, and has over 14 years experience in environmental compliance, working as an environmental scientist for both government and private industries. We decided to do a webinar on this topic because business intelligence has risen to the top of many EHS leaders' wish list, and we know that people are looking for strategies and technologies for keeping up with and understanding how their EHS data can better be leveraged. Today's presentation will include a short overview of Dakota's BI platform. It will last approximately 40 minutes. Due to the large number of participants, everyone is currently muted, but we do welcome your questions. You can submit them any point during the Q&A pod, and we will get to as many questions as possible at the end. We're also hoping to have an interactive session here today. So along the way, we're going to conduct a couple of short polls, and we'll share those results so that we can kind of get a sense of how the people on the call are feeling. So with that said, I'm going to now go ahead and turn it over to Julie.
Thank you, Bob. All right. So why EHS needs to be data-driven? Well, it is. And you need to be compliant with the regulations. However, to keep ahead of the game, data can provide good insights into your program. You cannot rely just on gut instinct. There are many factors that can impact your company, which your EHS department can influence, such as improving your company's brand perception, reducing environmental impacts, use of natural resources, protect employees, reduce lost time costs, improve operational efficiency and centralize institutional knowledge, and ultimately reduce fines and penalties by ensuring that compliance. All right, so EHS professionals are responsible for the safety of workers, environmental impacts, and compliance with complex and frequently changing regulations. They depend on data to make informed decisions and are seeking flexible analytics and business intelligence tools to provide them that insight into the EHS performance and operational risk across their organizations. The increasing volume of EHS and operational data collected via mobile devices, connected workers, beacons, and monitoring equipment is accelerating this demand. Our industry has progressed through these stages that you see here, and we're currently at Industry 4.0 with network systems for everything. Many EHS professionals are taking 40 to 80 hours a month managing all that data they're receiving that they've just collected. This can be overwhelming, especially with such lean teams of professionals. I know that there's often just a couple of you there. However, centralizing that data would help with this abundance of data that you're collecting. I know that analytical platforms are more widely adopted in other areas of industry, such as quality and finance, but not with EHS, which is primarily a cost center. I know that you understand what data could provide, valuable insight into the health of your EHS program and your company. So getting verified insight from granular data isn't easy without the right tools. With that in mind, let's look at the type of data that would provide this insight. Here we have a list of the types of data in these two indicator groups. Most of your data could be classified as leading or lagging. Lagging indicators are commonly used but again, they are after the fact, so sometimes a little late. These are output oriented, hard to improve on, but still useful for seeing trends. We'd like to get visibility with the leading indicators also, to correct deficiencies before they become accidents or issues. Here is a schematic of the leading and lagging indicators for assessing risk and improving your outcomes, showing how everything is interrelated. So why use these leading indicators? Well, it's a proactive approach, right? You measure what a company is doing to prevent incidents and non-compliance, focus on the good being done, and focus on the best thing to measure to give you the data. You need leading indicators to predict and steer toward the desired outcomes. But you do need the lagging indicators to see if you are focused on the right things for success. So lagging indicators could and should make you adjust your leading indicators, which is why they're all related. So with this information, we still need to see how we're doing. How can we track these indicators to get useful insights?
Okay, great. And so we are going to just conduct a quick poll. As Julie said, there's all types of leading indicators. It might be different for everyone, but there are some common sets. So we're going to launch a short poll right now, and then we'll go ahead and share the results after that. So we have a list here of some of the things that Julie focused on, and we just want to get a sense of what people are keeping track of. This is a multiple choice. You can choose as many as you like. So we'll just give everyone 30 seconds or so to go ahead and click through those, and then we'll share those out with the group. And I get to enjoy watching those results come in as I see them. It looks like we have some winners being established here. Okay, and just 10 more seconds, and then we'll go ahead and close that poll up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close the poll, and then we'll share this. All right, so you should be seeing that on the screen there. Julie, any observations?
Oh, training, interesting. Yeah, a lot of training. Yes, that's one of your, how do you measure the employee training? Is it their score, or is it just that they took the training? That's a good one. And inspections. I like inspections. Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you, everybody. All right, and we can go ahead and move on.
Are you ready? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so here we have a dashboard of insights with both leading and lagging indicators. So our BI tool offers a combined look at numerous leading and lagging indicators, but our compliance management products also allow for a unique indicator, regulatory preparedness. The item circled indicates our profiler completion percentage, or regulatory preparedness of the selected facilities, which we'll be showing soon. Our regulatory compliance tool provides a means to determine our regulatory applicability, or your legal register of requirements. Our insights tool is able to see if facilities are keeping their profiles up to date, and in turn, knowledgeable about their regulatory requirements. This leading indicator provides insight to the site leaders, but our BI tool can provide visibility across all locations and incorporate this leading indicator into various dashboards and reports company-wide.
Okay, thanks, Julie. I'm going to take control of that back. All right, so thank you very much. So one of the first things that we discovered when talking to our clients about business intelligence was that we lacked a common language for both data management and analysis. So I'd like to start by covering data literacy, which is the ability to read, understand, create, and communicate data as information. Before we get into the specifics of data, oops, this is my part there. I'd like to start by talking about, start with the end in mind. Business intelligence is all about answering business questions. So what questions do you want to ask? Setting goals helps to establish those questions. And to do that, we recommend using the SMART methodology. Most people are probably aware of this term. It's been around since the 1980s. It's a mnemonic acronym intended to guide in the setting of goals and objectives, to get better results. The terms are specific, measurable, assignable. I've seen versions where it's actionable or accountable, realistic, time-related, or time-bound. Regardless of the exact definition you're using, the SMART goal terminology, really, it helps to create good goals, and it should be part of the vocabulary of EHS leaders. And using leading indicators to improve safety and health outcomes, OSHA outlines the benefits of tracking leading indicators and how good leading indicators should be based on SMART principles. They compare examples of good versus bad goals. Starting with a goal, safety meetings will be held monthly as one that doesn't quite meet the SMART principles. So if you kind of look through this guide here, you'll see the first goal is that goal is not specific. It doesn't describe who should attend. Specifying that workers should attend is better, but it's not measurable because it doesn't track the number of a number related to the goal. Stating that the meeting will be held monthly is better. To make it accountable, though, you need to clarify that workers will be attending every month. And then expecting 100% attendance isn't realistic. To make it a reasonable goal, it should align with maybe another data point, like workplace attendance, perhaps. In this case, OSHA is saying 97% would be reasonable, and that would be specific, I imagine, to the organization's attendance rates. And last, they clarify that goals must be measured frequently enough to spot trends. In this case, they're saying monthly over twice a year in order to actually adjust to what you're recording, what you're capturing. OSHA also outlines how the plan, do, check, act methodology aligns with the method of goal setting. So as Julie outlined earlier with a leading and lagging indicator matrix, goal setting process has to measure both leading and lagging and periodically test the effectiveness of the goal, and then adjust, of course, to create that cycle of continuous improvement. I think it's also important to recognize the relationship of leading and lagging indicators to outputs and outcomes. So in this image here, they're measuring outputs as the number of arrows that are fired. But firing arrows may not get you any closer to your desired outcome of actually hitting the target. So outputs are the things we do. Outcomes are the results we hope to achieve by doing the things that we do. So these terms have become prevalent in boardrooms. They're definitely business speak. And they point to the importance of meaningful goal setting and the need to be fluent in the language of goals and measurement, as well as data, which leads us to data. So data becomes information, which can be turned into insight, which can then lead to more data for further analysis. Between these stages, reporting and analysis is performed to measure goals and inform decision making. Data are facts. They're collected for analysis. It consists of raw figures generated by the various processes. It consists of two main types: quantitative, which is expressed as a number. Quantitative data answers questions like how many, how often. And then there's qualitative, which consists of everything but numbers. It answers questions like how did this happen or why did this happen? Data alone, of course, doesn't highlight useful trends, though. For that, we need information. Information is what we've learned by the facts, meaning that it's data that's organized and presented in a way that it's digestible. Information is organized by attributes or information that describes the facts. It can be filtered and sorted to create reports and enable analysis. And then last, we have insights, which are gained by analyzing the information. Insights should be actionable, visible, and help identify trends and anomalies. In short, insights should answer business questions so issues can be addressed. And ideally, we're addressing them proactively before serious issues occur. So to get useful insight from your data, some steps need to be taken to get you what you want to know. First, you need to normalize your data. Not only do you need to define the attributes, but you need to control in place to standardize at the place where the data is captured. When entered by end users, this can be done using things like pick lists or drop downs, which control the way the data is entered. It can also help to categorize things like numeric values, where you want things to be set as a date or currency or et cetera, to make the formatting consistent. Essentially, data normalization sets the stage for the type of apples to apples comparison that people need. The next step is centralizing data. EHS departments should seek a single source of truth that eliminates those data silos, ensures integrity, and ensures that accurate data can be accessed when it's needed. Once centralized, that data should be modeled or define to define the relationships between the various data sets. An example would be relating details from injuries to date time calculations or details related to the facilities. This data collection process should then be automated. We use the word curation, which refers to the process of collecting the data from various sources and organizing it so that it can be accessed when it's needed. Automating the data collection process saves time, but it can also reduce errors associated with manual handling of data. So if anyone's ever worked in a spreadsheet and sorted data incorrectly, or maybe mapped fields incorrectly when importing into a system, you understand the pain of those errors. Once data has gone bad, it can be very challenging to fix it. And then, so data and analytics, it can help answer those business questions. What happened, why it happened, what might happen, and what can be done about it. Additionally, and potentially more importantly, when you're doing data analysis and exploration right, you can discover new business questions that you need answers to. We also really quickly want to distinguish between operational and analytical data. They're both similar in how they will provide information, but they provide different types of insights. Operational data is the transactional data that's created and accessed as part of your day-to-day workflows. So for EHS, things like conducting an audit, reporting an incident, completing a compliance task would qualify as operational data. Analytical data is essentially operational data, but it's stored and utilized specifically to provide insights for business decisions. Analytical data is best stored in a centralized, like a data warehouse, which is designed so that it can be queried and mined as needed. And of course, the end goal is to produce actionable business intelligence. These indicators are usually well defined for EHS, and you should expect that a BI tool should include standard and common indicators of performance like TRIR, days since last incident. But because all organizations are unique and because analysis should turn up new questions, BI tools should be flexible enough to accommodate the evolving needs of the organization. And so the end result is something that looks like this, right? Getting a centralized view in forms of dashboards and reports and KPIs or key performance indicators. These dashboards support trending, comparison, drill down. The screenshot here is from Dakota Insights, and it provides a pretty good idea of how these can be presented. So Julie's going to get into insights in a few minutes here, but real quick, we want to talk a little bit about the stages of the data-driven journey too. So how to get to where you want to be. The former CEO of Netscape, Jim Barksdale, famously said, if we have data, let's look at the data. If all we have are opinions, let's go with mine. So before organizations had reliable data, they often fell back on opinions. And sometimes it would be the highest paid person's opinion that won out. Call those the hippos. Most organizations realized long ago, especially for EHS, they can't rely on opinions. They want to be data-driven. So talking the talk is an important component, being able to be data literate, talk in terms that everyone understands and agrees upon. But equally important is an honest assessment of where your organization is with data maturity and where your EHS department is on their data journey. So we're going to walk through a couple of these stages. The first stage, data denial. You know there's data out there somewhere, but it's difficult to get, nearly impossible to analyze. We talk to companies all the time, still have things, paper-based processes, spreadsheets scattered across network drives. This could be maybe companies who are in denial of the importance of data. Fortunately, EHS functions usually don't reside here for too long because it's just simply too risky. Stage 2 is data acknowledgement. Data is still unstructured, and this causes the dreaded data silos. That leads to limited visibility. With no centralized place to keep data, business units are often on their own, making independent decisions. Stage 2 is dominated by gut feelings, like Julie referenced before, hunches, things, people say things like, I think that, or I feel like that often. Stage 3 data may or may not be centralized, but it's likely still unstructured or only semi-structured. Some locations and business units might be working together, but curating data is still manual and time consuming. You'll still hear, I think that, and I feel that a lot for drivers of decisions. Many EHS departments, maybe in the mid-range of their data maturity, may still be in this area. In stage 4, data has been combined into that central repository, but maybe curating data is still manual. Centralized dashboards have become popular, and they actually start guiding decision making with EHS leaders. And these decisions are being based on data analysis, but there's still potentially effort created to correlate data and get data in. Many mature EHS departments may have made it or are getting close to this stage. And finally, we arrive at data-driven. Here, data curation is automated to a centralized, normalized database. Business questions can be answered immediately, or at least in a short time frame, and corporate EHS has full visibility across the enterprise. If you're in a data-driven environment, you'll hear terms like trends indicate that, or what if we looked at, that kind of becomes the norm. So next, we would like to launch one more short poll to kind of gauge where everyone is on their data journey. So we're going to go ahead and push this one out, and you should see it in a minute. So this is just a single choice. So just choose the one that best fits your situation, and then we'll go ahead and we will share that information with the group. So we'll just take 10 seconds or here. We ask everyone just to go ahead and choose where they're at. Okay. Looks like we're getting most of the answers in here. Give you just another few seconds, and then we'll go ahead and close this poll. All right, we're going to go ahead and shut that down. And we'll share that out with everyone. And so, yeah, you kind of see the fat part of the bell curve being around stage 3, the data aware. Many people making it into data informed. Surprisingly, some people in the data denial stage. But as I mentioned, we talk to people all the time who feel that they're there and they want to get off of paper systems and they want to get things centralized. All right, great. I'll stop sharing that. So thank you so much. And oops, here we go. So last, before I turn it over to Julie, I just want to talk about some of the pitfalls that we know occur along the way to becoming data-driven. First is avoid preconceived notions and sweeping changes. Even when you become efficiently data-driven, you'll need to continually ask questions and look at your performance from different angles in order to evolve. Plan for this being a continuous improvement cycle. Remember, it's small changes may be better than sweeping alterations to getting acceptance into moving forward. Don't limit future analysis opportunities. Consider your upfront investment of time and cost to making changes later. Do the extra work upfront to enable that ideal future state for your analytical needs. Avoiding problems upfront is much easier than fixing them later on. Don't get lost in the weeds. Seeing all of your EHS data in one place can be exciting, and it may be tempting to start building graphs and dashboards. But if it's not getting you any closer to your answers, you're probably in the weeds. So keep asking the questions, does this really help us achieve our stated EHS goals? And the last one is avoid analysis paralysis. Having more data available can sometimes be scary, and it can cause you to overthink a problem to the point where it's difficult to make a decision. So setting due dates and prioritizing decision-making criteria can help to avoid that. Remember, data-driven processes can help mitigate risk, but definitely not eliminate it. And business intelligence designed to inform decision-making, but can never replace it. So I will turn it back over to Julie.
Oh, thank you, Bob. That was very informative. All right. So now we're doing our next steps on our data journey. So data literacy is the ability to read, understand, create, and communicate data as information. We here at Dakota know a lot about data, specifically about regulatory compliance, utilizing both leading and lagging indicators within our product. So Dakota does know data. I love data. There are a lot of BI tools, as you can see in this image, but a tool integrated with your management system is ideal. You can see the numbers on this figure to see how many data points we have in our system. We understand EHS data and how this data helps our clients answer critical EHS questions. That data is related to EHS incidents, events, observations, tasks, corrective actions, and other data collected from the front lines. But our regulatory compliance application is what we are best known for. Regulatory change is constant. It's estimated that under the EHS umbrella, there are 100,000 action-forcing US federal requirements, and about 5,000 of them are being revised annually. On top of that, you have state requirements, management systems, organizational policies, and local permits, making managing these activities difficult. Our regulatory database is maintained by our in-house regulatory experts who constantly review the Federal Register and related state regulations and translate these requirements into plain language overviews, audit questions, and if requested, compliance tasks. Dakota updates this regulatory content monthly with changes identified with green triangles and green font, as you see in that image. Regulatory updates can be set to a user-specified track changes date to see what actually changed during a specified period. The yellow folder in this image indicates applicability to a site that has not been determined, possibly due to a significant regulatory change or an updated applicability question that needs to be reviewed by the user, by the site person. This image shows the regulatory changes in green text and the brief summary we provide of those changes. There are also blue hyperlinks to the actual regulations, the actual citations, if you want to go directly to the source material and review further. The Dakota profile has a track changes date, as I mentioned previously, that can be changed every time the profile is reviewed, and any unknown applicability questions reviewed and answered, and regulatory changes noted. This is often used to show that the site is up to date on any relevant regulatory requirements. Many clients use this track changes date for their ISO certification, showing that they've reviewed it and they're up to date. Our compliance planning tools provide this insight to site leaders, but our BI tool can provide visibility across locations and combine this leading indicator into various dashboards and reports for some really good insight for the health of all the facilities. The Dakota Proactivity Suite can deliver information to help our customers manage and identify EHS risk at their facilities with legal registers, incident management, compliance auditing, and corrective action completion stats. We're able to combine all that product data into our insight system to enable a deeper analysis of that data. So when you have better insights into how you're performing, you have a better understanding of your overall risk. Now we'll show you how our insights application looks using the data from the operational database, that is Dakota Proactivity, and linking it up to our analytical database, our insights. We call this Dakota Insights, which provides actionable indicators for measuring EHS compliance. Our experts have built dozens of visualizations that are available to you right out of the box. These visualizations are a combination of standard EHS KPIs and some advanced KPIs. In addition to the out-of-the-box dashboards, we allow EHS departments to easily customize and change how their data is reported. So the EHS expert can leverage their data however they want. There's no need to leave the Dakota ecosystem now to report on Dakota data. This top-level visibility allows for strategic executive-level reporting across all sites and products within Dakota. Advanced reporting capabilities allow for the segmentation by site properties to identify any trends and risks. You can compare facilities, you can compare business units, regions, data over different time frames, compare across areas of interest. And then you can also drill down to see the details in any of these metrics to help you identify any trends. With insights, you can also share this EHS intelligence, which provides an increased level of transparency. This promotes the ability to make data-driven decisions. So the reports and data visualizations are built and they don't need to be maintained. They can be scheduled to be sent out on a recurring basis, ensuring data and reports are distributed in a timely manner. This saves time and money in the recurring creation of these reports that is not necessary anymore. In addition to the dashboards Dakota has built and provides a standard, your organization could create any metric, any KPI, calculation, any dashboard so that data can be viewed in a way that makes sense for your organization, mimicking current graphs and figures that you already have set up. Here is a sample dashboard customized with a variety of the possible graphing options that are in the system. Once these customized dashboards are created, the data from the operational database is harvested every 4 hours. So the views are practically evergreen, especially every morning with whatever data you've selected. And for filtering, for any filter that you are using. The dashboard in the product can also be embedded into your intranet and viewed by all in your organization.
All right, thanks, Julie. And so we have a couple of questions. So I think I'd like you to hang out to help me field some of those. I'd like to remind everyone we have a few minutes left. You can ask some questions now. I'd like to do one more short poll as we're starting to field questions to kind of get a sense of how we did here on this webinar. And so I'll go ahead and put that out there. And please go ahead and put your questions through now. We'll go ahead and start with some that have already been submitted though. Julie, maybe you can take this one. What data points are included from Dakota's products? You might not be able to tackle all of those, but
well, we have the usual data points, so like injury, illness, but the really exciting data points, Bob, are the profile applicability, like how many sites have emergency generators and apply to 4Z. We're able to see that regulatory applicability very easily in our system. If you can make it a data point, you can pretty much find it. So, anything else?
I got another question here. I would like to know what kind of insights is used regards compliance. For example, PSM audit. What domains have the most red flags, etc.
Right. We're able to look at your the domain, the is it safety, the PSM, all the folders in PSM, and we're able to combine that with red flags for a time period, for a facility. You can just select all those parameters to look at those red flags. And if you've populated the priority or the root cause, you can also look at that data. So if you have the data, it all gets pulled in our system and you can review it at a very high level.
All right, great, thank you. Another question is, how often does the data update?
I had said that before, every 4 hours. Yeah, we have a certain schedule, and it just pulls in all the data, overwrites it every 4 hours.
All right, okay, thank you. Okay, another question regarding outputs. What outputs are available? Can dashboards be embedded on internets or other places?
Yes, you can embed your dashboard. It works best on your internet. And you can even, when you schedule your dashboards, you can get PDFs of the dashboards. And for any of those tables you make, you can just get an Excel export of the table. So it's a great way to get your data in even a table if you want to sort, after the fact, already set and ready for you to work on, to look at.
Great, thank you. Another question. How many people per company can access the product?
Oh, so yeah, the product is unlimited. So whatever parts of it that you purchase, it's always unlimited. So that everyone can see, the dashboards if you want them to have access and see it.
Great. All right, we'll pause for another minute here and give everyone on the call a minute to put any final questions through. I'll remind you that if you have any questions you want to ask outside of here, if you want to get more information, you could use the information on the screen to connect with us. We have some information about insights on our website. And okay, that may be all the questions that everyone has. So we're right at almost approaching the 40-minute mark. So I'll thank everyone for attending. Hopefully everyone found that information valuable. Thank you to Julie for putting together a nice presentation on leading indicators and insights.
You're welcome, Bob.
Okay, so thank you everyone again for joining us, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.